Good evening. Thank you for all joining us. My name is Rocky Klitsky and I'm the campus director at Globe University Madison East. It's my distinct honor at this time to introduce this evening's guest speaker. Krystal Williams-Oby is a recognized attorney, lecturer, and frequent conference speaker. With over 20 years of legal experience, Krystal's professional career includes serving as Assistant Attorney General for the Wisconsin Department of Justice, former law firm partner, staff attorney for Legal Action of Wisconsin, and child advocate for the Dane County Guardian Ad Litem Project. She is the founder of Kingdom Legal Services Incorporated, a nonprofit, faith-based law firm located in Madison, Wisconsin. Krystal also serves as Associate Pastor of Northside Christian Assembly Church, where she oversees discipleship training, children's and youth ministry, and church administration. Krystal received her Juris Doctorate from the University of Wisconsin Law School and undergraduate degree from Dillard University in New Orleans, Louisiana. She is the recipient of the African American and Black Business Association's Attorney of the Year Award in 2007 and the Alliance Defense Fund's National Litigation Academy Honor Corps Pro Bono Service in 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, Krystal Williams-Oby.
Well, thank you all. I'm so excited to be here, and I want to thank all of you, the students, families, friends, and all of the faculty and administration. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. You could have had anyone else, but you asked me, so I'm honored. I'm just very excited for you, listening to the two speakers and just knowing that each of you have your own story. Each of you have your own journey. There's something that drew you to a global university, and there's something that continued to drive you to complete and finish your course. And so I just want to applaud you all. So now you have your degrees and your certificates. And so now you're about to embark on a new season that'll have new challenges, new promises, right? It's a new thing that you're doing right now. So getting your degree and your diploma this is not the end. It's actually the beginning of something new. And so as I think about when you obtain a new degree or a new certificate or you complete a specific task, many times we'll have people around us saying, now that you've got that degree, now that you've got that certificate, now you're successful. But I want you to know that success can only be defined for you by you. No one else can determine what success is for you. And so yes, you have your degree, you have your certificate, but I want to challenge you to go further. I want to challenge you to go further. There's more to life than what you've obtained today. What you've obtained today is great, and it's exactly what you needed for this season in your life. But guess what? There are other seasons in your life and more seasons in your life. You'll never stop learning. You should never stop earning and achieving and reaching for those goals that's deep down on the inside of you. And so I want to talk to you today about success. And what true success is, and achieving success on your own terms, based on who you are, based on who you have been created to be. Not based on what someone else says is success, but based upon what is successful to you. All right? So if you're wondering why is she pausing, because normally I would say, amen, right? So if I pause and look stunned, it's because I don't know what else to say. All right? So I'm going to just say, all right? And you just say, all right. All right. All right. So let's talk about the meaning of success. Webster's dictionary defines success as achievement of a certain level of social status. It is the achievement of a goal, and it is the opposite of failure. What I want you to know is that, that definition does seem to agree with what most of us say success is. I mean, for many of us, success is, working for a big corporation and making, 6 or 7 figures, right? Yeah, that would be nice, right? But for others of us, success would mean, having the opportunity to pursue our passion and maybe having the opportunity to be at home with our family or with our children. Success really your degree. Tonight is the first step of the next phase of your life. Success really is not an event, it is a journey. It is taking one step after another to achieve a specific goal. When I think of success, I think of mountain climbers. How many of you climb mountains? Oh, we got one. I don't have my glasses on. I saw a couple of hands. Let me ask you a question. What is it with these rock climbing like stores? These fun places. It's like they have a wall with rocks on them. And that's supposed to be fun. Well, it's fun to the rock climbers. You know why? Rock climbers and mountain climbers, they're made a little bit different than the rest of us. They can go to a facility and they'll see a brick wall, and then it has various rocks, and it has pulleys and ropes, and they think, I'm going to conquer that thing. But then the rest of us say, why do they have rocks on the wall? What are those ropes hanging down there for? I'm not getting up there. I'm going to get hurt, right? But it's something about climbers where they have this built-in tenacity, and when they see a challenge, they don't run from it. They figure out how they're going to conquer it. There's three characteristics that mountain climbers have, or climbers. Number one, they conquer fear and indecisiveness. All right? All right. Say all right. They conquer or overcome fear and decisiveness. Number two, you know what? They become comfortable with embracing change. And number three, they learn to deal with failure. And so I want to talk to you today about these strategies, the strategies of success. Three simple strategies that you can use to become successful in your own right. All right? All right. All right. All right. Well, let's talk about thank you. Let's talk about overcoming fear and indecisiveness. Some of you, before you even enrolled in Globe University, some of you had people telling you, don't go to that school. Why are you wasting time? It costs too much. You have enough loans. What about your children? You know you didn't do that well in high school. I'm sure that many of you heard all of these negative thoughts, but there was something in you that said, even though I might be scared, I'm going to do it scared. I'm going to enroll in Globe University and risk not being accepted. Now that I'm accepted, I'm going to do my best and take that course, even though everyone said, that course is going to kill you. That professor is really mean. You're never going to make it in that class. Then you took the class and you succeeded, and it didn't stop you from taking another class and another and another, and now you're here today. So we all have the ability to conquer some level of fear in our lives. All we have to do is make the decision to do it. All right? Mountain climbers have to be decisive. Think about the people who have tried and have conquered Mount Everest and even smaller mountains. They have to make sure that they have the right equipment, and they have to make sure that they're in the right mindset before they even start on their journey. And for the most part, most climbers, they have a goal in mind. Their goal typically is the summit. It's the top. It's the tip of the mountain. That's the place, the highest place. That's the place where they want to go. And they don't start with Mount Everest. They start with the rock climbing activity centers. And then they progress to hills, right? They progress to hills, and then they go ahead and start tackling the larger mountains. But this is what they do as they're climbing. I'm not a rock climber, but I've read about them. So from what I hear, what they do is they have these ropes, and they have all of this equipment. They have these nice things that they stick in the mountain and to pull themselves up on, and they have these shoes with like spike things in it that they kick them out with, and I know those shoes have to be ugly. They kick the mountain, and they get leverage, and they get the knife, and then they begin to climb. Here's problem. With mountain climbing, there are elements, weather, snow, ice, probably mosquitoes and bugs. They have to weather whatever is going on in the atmosphere. And so sometimes mountain climbers may get to a point in their climb where they can't really get a good grip, or their knife won't go into an iceberg. And so at that point they can't just stop and say, oh well, I give up, I wasn't able to do it. Not when you're 3,000 feet above the ground. And so what they have to do is make a decision. First of all, they have to overcome fear. And from what I've read and studied about mountain climbers is that sometimes they talk to themselves. And that is a technique that they use to keep themselves motivated. They speak to themselves and they speak out loud and say, okay, I know I can do this. I know my knife didn't go in right where I wanted it to. I'm kind of hanging here 3,000 square feet. You can tell I've been looking at office space, right? I'm hanging out on this mountain 3,000 feet above the ground. So now they have to make a decision. And many times, if we don't allow fear to cripple us, we let indecisiveness get in the way of our success. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Well, but if I choose wrong, this will happen. Well, which door should it be? Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? Guess what? When you're climbing mountains, you've got to make a decision. Because if you don't, you'll just be hanging there in the elements and will become victim to the freezing cold, victim to the ice, and victim to the snow. So you've got to make a decision. You're either going to continue to go up or you're going to go back down. So mountain climbers, they overcome fear and indecisiveness, and they speak to themselves. You know, there's a great book that exists that says there's life and death in the power of the tongue. In other words, you can speak life to yourself or you can speak death to yourself. And I don't mean physical death, I just mean death to your self-esteem and death to who you were created to be. And so climbers have to speak to themselves, okay, I can do this, and they speak out loud. There's something about talking to ourselves. Yes, other people think we're crazy. I think it's as long as you don't answer. I think that's the thing. But when you speak to yourself, think about this. Your mouth speaks, your ear hears it out here, versus on the inside, and somehow or another it triggers something in the brain to take action. And so many of us need to learn to speak to ourselves and say, I can do this, I can take this next step. I've come this far against all types of elements. I've come this far. Maybe you're the only person in your family or in your circle of friends that have achieved this level of education. And so now you've got to keep talking to yourself and saying, now that I've got this degree, I'm going to talk my way through this next level, through this journey, to become the successful person that I already am, or to become a greater success than what I already am. All right? All right. Number 2, the second strategy for success that mountain climbers use is that they are comfortable with embracing change. Everybody say change. Say change is good. Yeah, change is good. And I think we all know that change is good, but change is hard. How many of you would agree that change is hard? Abrupt change is really hard, right? The thing about climbers is that they have the ability to just shift at the drop of a dime. Why? Because they understand that their life depends upon them being able to embrace significant change at the drop of a hat. If you're climbing a mountain and your ugly shoe won't fit into the hole in the mountain, then you've got to change your course. So maybe now you can't go up, after, I don't know, I'm just making this up, at the 45 they change quickly and they adapt and they do something different so that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish. And we have to do that same thing. We have to be able to embrace change. Everybody say embrace change.
Embrace change.
All right. All right. All right. Helen Keller said this. She said a happy life consists not in the absence, but in the mastering of hardships. Hardships make you more mature and they help you grow. How many of you are, were adults, young adults in the 90s? Anybody? Okay, I better look at that. No, is it just me? Okay, sorry. Okay, how many of you were young adults in like 2009? Oh, Lord. Okay, there's a few. I better come up with a different example. Anyway, one thing that my husband and I, he's here somewhere, I don't have my glasses on so I can't see, but we have 3 beautiful boys, aged 17, 16, and 13. And, we often talk about the fact that, they just can't handle hardship like we did. I mean, they had it so easy. And we had it, so hard. Everybody's got that parent story that they've heard. I had to walk 12 miles barefoot to the schoolhouse. Right? So sometimes we have it so easy that we allow ourselves to be tricked into thinking that if we run into roadblocks or if we run into hardship, we must have made a bad decision. But I want you to know that roadblocks are going to come. The issue is not, have I hit a brick wall at this point? The issue is, how am I going to get over it? All right? All right. Let me move on. Number 3, the third strategy of success is that we have to learn to deal with failure. Everybody say failure. Is not an option. But we have to deal with it. So now we have to determine, how are we going to deal with failure? The first thing is, you've got to expect it. You can't win all the time. Right? Right? How many of you had friends when you were younger and every time they didn't win, they wanted to take their ball and go home? All the kids are playing with the ball, but because they didn't win, they take their ball and they go home and they leave everybody else in the cold. That's not what we're supposed to do. What we're supposed to do is say, you know what? I didn't win in my mind because my focus was wrong. You see, successful people do not compete against other people. They don't compete against their fellow employees. They don't compete with their boss for their jobs. They don't compete with other people. What they do is use other people as a gauge to compete with themselves. I liked what the young lady said, the speaker, when she said, you know what, she wanted to make sure that her friends didn't get a better grade. She was not competing against them. She's competing against herself. And she's using them as a positive gauge to say, if they can do it, I know I can do it too. All right? All right. And so we can't spend our time competing against other people, because then if things don't work out the way we expect them to work out, we start blaming those people who it did work out for. How many of you know somebody that may have not been too happy when their friend won the lottery and they didn't? You can imagine that, right? You both bought a ticket, and then all of a sudden they get the big prize, and you got nothing. It'll be easy for you to become jealous and say, well, that really was my ticket. She just snatched it first. No, you're not competing against anyone else. You're competing with yourself. And I'm not promoting the lottery. Actually, save your money. That's not going to make you successful. Okay? And so we have to learn the concept of self-correction when we make a mistake. When a climber is climbing a mountain and they feel like they have no other option to move forward, then they have to make their way back down to base camp. So what that climber is going to do is not say, oh, well, I failed, I'll never try again. No, what they're going to do is go back and they're going to retrace their steps. They're going to get more tools or better tools. They're going to rest and then they're going to start all over again. This is how you deal with purported failure. You say, okay, so I made a mistake. I'm not the first person to make a mistake. I made a mistake, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a step back. As a matter of fact, when we fail at something, the first thing we need to do is go back and analyze every single step that we took. Now we need to retrace our steps, just like that climber will do. Retrace your steps, going backwards, so to speak. Get right back to the place where you knew you were in the right spot, and then take a different direction. Failure is not, it does not have to be an option. You don't have to accept it, you just have to deal with it. Right? You just have to deal with it. And so there are things that I've tried in my life professionally, and things that I've tried in my life, athletically. And I wanted to win most athletic when I was in high school. And see, what had happened was I really wasn't an athlete. I just wanted the prize. I just wanted that big letter E, right? And so, I ran track. I played basketball. As a matter of fact, when I was a freshman, I was placed on the high team because I could play. Well, they thought I could play. And then first basketball game, there was what I thought was a fast break. And I got the ball and I was dribbling and I could hear the crowd. And to me, it sounded like roars and cheers, like, yeah. But really what they were saying is, no. You see, I was dribbling down in the wrong direction. And I'm thinking I'm just going, it's like in slow motion. I'm like, fast break, I'm so quick, nobody can catch me. Well, nobody was chasing me. And I actually went and shot the ball into the opponent's basket. Womp, womp, womp. So you see, my goal was to become most athletic, and so I was willing to play sports that I wasn't good at because I was competing with myself. I had a goal. No, I didn't win most athletic, but I won some other stuff, right? I won some other stuff for just being a good sport and having a good attitude about things. And so what I want to say in all seriousness is that, listen, if you're going to be successful in life, you can't let other people stop you with their words. So that means that you've got to overcome fear. Just because Sally and Bill didn't do it, it doesn't mean that you've got to be scared to try because you can't do it. Everyone is equipped to do something great in this earth, on the earth and in this universe. And everyone is equipped with everything that they need to do it. You have the know-how, you have the ability. All you have to do is conquer fear. You've got to learn to embrace change in your life, and you've got to deal with failure. All right? All right.